Welcome everybody to the show. I have an amazing guest today, Hanna Hermanson. Hermanson?
Nailed it.
Got it. And she runs a website called yourdreamlifeisyourreallife.com. We linked up recently and I said, I think you would be a perfect guest for the show because I just love what you're all about. And I think a lot more entrepreneurs need to understand this concept. So without further ado, I want to welcome Hanna to the show. How are you today, Hanna?
Living the dream. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So how I like to start every show is basically giving you an introduction and setting you up to talk to our audience, but I want to make sure that they know why they should be listening to you and paying attention to what it is that you have to say. So take us back to the beginning and sort of how you found your way to where you're at today and how you help your clients get the results that they're looking for.
Yeah. So going way back, I grew up in a small town in Wisconsin, and I did all of the right things, as a lot of people I talk to and my current clients can relate to is, checking the boxes, doing good in school, going to a college, getting a degree, getting a job, and as a college advisor, which was supposed to be the dream job because I loved helping young people set goals and achieve those same things that I had done and find success in their young lives. I quickly found that wasn't the dream job for me. And I didn't know how to find what the right thing was. I really didn't see the role models that I wondered if these people existed that did it any differently. And so I tried lots of things. I traveled and I taught English in places like Kenya, Cambodia, Nepal, the Dominican Republic, and I became a certified yoga teacher, do that spiritual path and become, do these sort of like side jobs or side opportunities. I started a network marketing business because that was an opportunity that presented itself. Yet actually the thing that really shook me onto my purpose or my path was getting wrapped up in an eating disorder around the same time. And I felt like, okay, I'm trying all these things. Nothing is really working. But what I can excel at and control is what I put in my mouth and how much I run. And so it became a problem. And I went to therapy. And there was a very distinct session with my therapist that she had been telling me for months and months, like, you just have to be content. Like, you do enough. Like, quit trying to chase things and just settle down. And I'd been hearing this over and over. And so one day I was hangry because I wasn't eating. And I was also annoyed with this idea. And I said, why is everyone trying to stunt me? Like, I found my thing. Why is everyone trying to slow me down? Why can't they just be proud and happy that I found something I can excel at? And she very blatantly looked at me and said, Hanna, do you want to be remembered for counting calories and running half marathons? No, that is not how I want to be remembered. That is not the dream I want to be chasing. And so I had all these experiences in travel and education and my own personal development and yoga. And so I decided, I could be a life coach. I can, as I navigate this path, I can help other people do the same. And so I did that, and it became clear that I was out of alignment with my day job at this point while I was trying to become a life coach and had 5 other side hustle things going on. And I was actually let go of my job. And so that was the clear sign that I needed to figure out how to monetize my coaching business. Fast forward now to being a business coach for other people who have experiences, who have services, who have a story that can impact other people. And they need to figure out a way to bring their heart-centered mission into a high ticket offer. And so you ask, what's the thing that you see your clients coming up against the most? And for me, it's helping teachers, yoga instructors, service people understand that money is energy, and it's okay to be earning, as much money in a month as you used to in a year. And, the mindset that comes around with that, and then also the strategy, because I don't work with people who came from a sales background or a business background per se, but how do we help people enroll in their dreams, make a big investment with them as a service provider? And so helping them with those sort of marketing strategies that don't feel salesy or out of alignment.
I love it. So where do you think, so I want to get back to the name of your brand because I really, really like it for a second. And I want to talk about making your dream life your real life. But my question is, why don't all of us just do what we need to do to make that a reality?
Yeah.
What gets in our way the most?
Mm-hmm. So the thing, and I sort of mentioned this, that I had to overcome, and my clients are coming up against the most, is this idea that you can earn $10,000 in a day. That's okay. And there isn't anything bad about money or being rich. And my whole platform is that I'm on a mission to bring more abundance into the world. And when I make, myself more available, I'm more in my purpose, I'm chasing my dreams, I can help other people much more than, like I said, my clients who are coming from traditional teaching, working for the state, doing the right thing kind of ways of serving.
Right.
And so we don't do that. And for me, like I mentioned, I didn't know what else was possible. This was the path that everyone around me was taking. And I had a lot of money story from upbringing. And again, from just not understanding that it's an energy and not a tool for evil.
Yeah. It's interesting how you look at money. I mean, I look at it as keeping score. If you're doing the right thing and you're providing value and you're showing people things that they don't already know, I think that's when people start to they start to say, I had a client one day say to me, I don't know what it is about you, Henry, but you make me feel like I need you in my life when it comes to, building a brand, building a business. And, it was funny when I started to take my focus off of the money and focused it more on my client's agenda, the money started to come in, and it was so it felt weird. How do I make money if I'm not focused on money? Right? That was what I couldn't understand. And what I realized was it's not so much about the money. It's about the value that you provide to that person that you're trying to help. And the bigger the problems that you solve for them, the bigger the check they're willing to write you. So
yeah. I was fortunate. A mentor early in my business told me that the more people that you help get what they want, the more you'll get what you want. Yeah. And taking that focus off of my own income goals or my own personal agenda, and focusing it on other people, it makes work and everything so much less stressful because it's not about you. It's about going and giving that value to the people who are dying. A quiet death of not being on their purpose or being overweight or whatever your offer is. It's your duty to go save their life.
So let me ask you this, Hanna. So you help business owners create that high ticket offer. And for those of you guys that are watching or listening, high ticket offers or anything, of a substantial investment, from, I don't know, $2,500 could be substantial to some people, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Once you start getting into those price points, they're considered high ticket, right? That's where high ticket comes in. So just wanted to get that out of the way first. But second is, What are some of the biggest roadblocks that you see your clients faced with when it comes to developing that high ticket, finding the price point for that particular product or service? I have a lot of clients that undervalue themselves tremendously, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of why. I've done it. Listen, I had to start somewhere, but I've done it. And then I've had people say to me, dude, you're charging way too low for what it is that you're doing. But where does that come from?
Yeah. So I mentioned, stories from our past, the media. I mean, we can blame lots of things, but I want to give you an exercise to not have to worry about the roadblock, but to just banish it. Okay. So I call this the dream life versus real life exercise. And you need 2 literal columns on a piece of paper. I actually encourage people to use a Google document because this is something that is going to be foundational to your business forever. And you should be adding and updating and referring to this. So the dream life is, what are the biggest hopes and aspirations and the visions people have that maybe they're not even giving themselves permission for yet? So a health coach is an easy example. X amount of weight, more energy, better relationships, maybe more focus at work so they could get a promotion. Like, really going into this isn't just about a weight loss, or this isn't just about one tangible outcome you're going to get people, but like, it's going to change every aspect of their life when they are in their dream life or they hit this goal with you.
Okay.
And having their literal words. And it's so easy to do this now with Facebook groups because we got people yapping all over, giving their literal, dream life to you. And then also the real life. And this is more, so in that column, you need to know, like, what are they going to bed thinking about? What is the number on the scale? Who said something to them at the grocery store that made them feel self-conscious? Okay. So those real life experiences, they're hell, they're pain points. And so this is just a foundational thing. Have these lists.
Okay.
This is going to be amazing for copywriting, for marketing, but also what you can do is to start putting some cost on that. So what is it costing to live in real life? What is the opportunity that they're missed? How much are they spending stress eating? How many years of their life are they losing? Okay, putting some numbers next to these columns. And then in the dream life, also thinking about, the cost of that opportunity. Okay, so that's like a bonus something I would encourage every business owner to have on hand. And then also a separate list that really helps with the imposter syndrome, which is something we can run into, is to have a list of all of the things that you've done in your life that help bridge that gap. So maybe it was, 5 years of therapy. How much did that cost you? Maybe it was 17 different diet gimmicks that you tried and failed. What did that cost you? And every time I, take a deep dive with a client, we are near the $100,000 mark. And so we have that in mind. Like, I've invested $100,000 to learn this or to overcome this real life problem that you have. I'm going to give you the shortcut at a fraction of what it's actually worth. So then it's much easier to turn around and say, it's only $5,000. And I'm going to save you 5 years of your life and your marriage. And, I understand that the value is priceless. And so I actually have a deal for you.
I love it.
That's how I like to structure it.
I absolutely love it. It's funny you say that because my mentor actually helped me sort of understand this concept of putting a value to the desired end result that the person is looking for. So what we like to do is we like to say, okay, so you want to take this business to, let's use easy numbers, like $100,000 this year, right? So how many, clients is it going to take for you to get there? What's one client worth to you, right? And then we say, what do you need to make each day in order to, right? So we look at the round, we take the focus off of the price point and we focus it in on the value of the end result. So it's $100,000. So when you look at $100,000 and then you look at $5,000 that you're charging to get them there, right? the $5,000 looks like pennies, looks like 5 cents compared to the 100 grand. So I love how you this exercise assigns a value to what's actually going on, what you want to potentially manifest, what you want it to be, and really assigning values to them. Because when you assign that, then you're going to find out real quick what matters, what you really should be focusing in on, and what you shouldn't be focusing your time, money, and energy on. I think one of the biggest things that stunts people's growth from living that dream life is a lack of focus. I just think they're not focused in on the right things. The worst thing that could happen to me would for someone to tell me, you did a great job, but you did the wrong job.
Oh, right.
Right. And then I would sit there and be like, well, where did I go wrong? Right. And so I love how you're assigning those values to those expectations and those real life and the dream life experiences. So let me ask you this, since this is the Brand Doctor podcast, what does branding mean to you?
Yeah. So branding to me is portraying your vision for your legacy out into the world. So that sounds really wordy. So let me break it down a little bit. So I'm a big proponent of branding from within and having a business and a brand that's aligned to your personality and how you want to be remembered, as opposed to, trying to fit a specific niche or like identify this market. Because when I did that, I was rebranding and changing my offer and not focused. And so the most powerful branding experiences that I've had or strategies that I've implemented are a complete extension of like how I want to be remembered. And that legacy piece makes it simple. Like the title Dream Life is Real Life. That's something people come to me like, well, do I need a name for my business and a logo and a color scheme and font? And like, that's not branding to me. My Dream Life is Real Life came because that was something I was saying all of the time. I started hanging around entrepreneurs and I was like, is this real life? You're working at coffee shops and you just went on this thing and is that real life? They're like, yes. And I was like, okay, Dream Life is Real Life. And so it was just an extension of me. It wasn't some like big strategy or SEO search to like see what was going to resonate. And then you also draw in those ideal clients who do understand your personality. They get your vibe. They are your ideal people and not just the ones that, were strategically drawn in because you had so much. Yeah. So branding is an demonstration of your vision and your legacy, I believe.
A demonstration.
Got to show it, right?
Yeah. Thank you. It's not you talking about it. It's about you actually doing it. And that's what actually, it's funny. I'm so glad that you brought that up. And it's one of the reasons why I started vlogging. I was talking to you offline about this, like I was setting up over there. And I am demonstrating this because that's demonstration is going to weed out the nonsense, and it's going to help you look like the subject matter expert that you should be. Yeah. And I'm so happy that you brought light to this because there's too many people out there talking about it or making believe. They're going out and renting these cars and they're renting these houses and they're putting on this huge facade, but at the end of the day, they're left with this huge hole left inside of them because they know that it's all nonsense and fluff.
Well, this goes back to, what you were saying about if you're chasing the money all of the time, or you're super focused on your own goals, that's a really exhausting game to be playing. And if you want to be keeping score, like you said, it's much more about the impact you can make on other people and inviting them into your mission and your vision and not just like yapping about yourself and your logo or whatever. Exactly.
And so that's what there's a bunch of takeaways here in this episode that I want people to make sure that they're getting. One is, defining a value to the end desired result that you're looking for. That's number one. looking at the cost of opportunity for the things that you want to do, that you're currently doing that maybe you shouldn't be doing, is another. And really understanding that demonstration is really going to help you solidify yourself and your brand as the subject matter expert, because now they're going to look at you and say, wow, this guy does this every day, or this gal does this every single day. And look how passionate they are. Look how compassionate they are. They really, truly look like they're enjoying their lives. This isn't a job for them. This is what they were put on this earth to do. And it was funny. I have a mindset coach myself, and I was talking to her last week about, why I think I was put here, and I'm not going to get into it right now in this episode. You can watch a vlog, and I mention it in one of my vlogs. I forget which one it is, but basically what she said, do you know how powerful that statement was? You know how many people walk this earth every single day and they don't know why they're here? That self-awareness, that clarity will help you take that dream life and make it that reality that you want it to be. And so I just want to point that out. And so real quick, Hanna, for those folks that want to get to know you more and to kind of understand more services that you provide and how you help your clients, where can they go and find you?
Yeah, I love those takeaways. Thank you for bringing that together. They can find me at dreamlifeisreallife.com. There you will find links to my Facebook group, which I am active in and share lots of content, my podcast, and other resources that my book. It's all there. dreamlifeisreallife.com.
That's awesome. So what's one takeaway we dropped a bunch of bombs, but what's one big takeaway that you would want our audience to really walk away from and begin to implement immediately? Like today, tomorrow morning, like what's that one thing?
I'd say raise your prices. If you have an offer, it's expensive to play small, and you're actually doing a disservice to your clients if you're not asking them to invest big. It's really their first step out of their comfort zone. And the more I raise my prices and the more I'm working with people who are all in, they're making a life-changing decision, they get life-changing results. I always, when people come to me with courses and $200 offers, I'm like, whose life have you changed? Because it's probably sitting on their desktop and they're not doing anything with it. But when you create a life-changing big investment for people, you'll change their lives.
It's expensive to play small. That's huge. That's huge. I love that. There you have it, guys. Another Brand Doctor podcast episode in the books. Hanna, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Really, really enjoyed this conversation. I hope this was thought-provoking for our audience. I really want you to walk away with these takeaways and implement them and really start to think about what it is that you need to be doing today, what that cost is for doing that or not doing that.
Yes.
And just freaking take action already and make it happen, because if you can dream it, you can make it happen. I'm a firm believer of that. And so I want to challenge all of you guys today to get out there and do it and take what Hanna said, take what I said, and just implement. So real quick, guys, before we go, if you haven't subscribed to this podcast yet, I invite you to do so. If you like the content, please take a quick second and just write a quick little written review on iTunes. I truly appreciate it, and thank you so much in advance for doing that. It's the fuel to the fire. And if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, please head over there and click subscribe and drop some comments. Give us some feedback. And if you have any questions or topics of conversation that you would love me and or a guest to highlight, drop them in the comments below, and we'll make it happen for you. So have an amazing day, guys, and I will catch you on the next episode. Take care, guys.